What do you want for Christmas this year?
With Christmas quickly approaching, children all over the world are preparing for a trip to see Santa. But as Stafford Braxton tells us, it's not just any Santa many are looking for, but a black Santa.
I'm looking for the beard, but I'm also foremost looking for the spirit.
Braxton is capitalizing on the growing demand for black Santas. As the founder of Santas Just Like Me, which launched in 2013, he hires black Santas and gets them booked for holiday events and photo ops around the country.
The reservations got full so quick.
Braxton's Black Santas complete Santa School, with a group of men portraying jolly old St. Nick, learn the history of Santa and how to best work with kids and parents and more.
We teach about decorum, how to interact with the children, the parents, poses you need to know, how to just keep your beard looking good.
Hey, ho, ho, ho.
Despite the overwhelming positive feedback his Black Santa business receives, occasionally he deals with a few naughty people who dip into racism, including a woman who recently told him,
white children should not be going to see Black Santa. They went so far as to still call us slaves.
But Braxton doesn't let a few naughties distract his Black Santas from what's most important, the spirit of Christmas and putting smiles on children's faces.
Let me say this, because I have more video to provide context. Santa Claus, in the formation you see him today, this is a fictional character, okay? Popularized in imagery by a campaign from Coca-Cola. Now, did Coca-Cola create the concept? No, they popularized the concept and restricted how we would view Santa Claus. Let me go to another dynamic. This is more psychological. It is important, if you celebrate Christmas or not, it is important that children see themselves in positive characters, even if those characters are fictional, okay? This may not be a big deal to you, but obviously it was a big deal to people like Megyn Kelly, who one time on Fox News, when she had her own show, wanted all of the children who watch her late night boring ass show, she wanted the children to know that Santa Claus was in fact a white man, and children, don't let anybody else tell you different. Now, I don't know what child is watching your show, madam, at that time, but here it is.
When you're constantly speaking your mind, you're gonna say things that don't always resonate or people don't agree with. I think one notable one is Santa is white on Fox was a moment.
In Slate, they have a piece on .com. Santa Claus should not be a white man anymore. And when I saw this headline, I kind of laughed and I said, oh, this is so ridiculous. Yet another person claiming it's racist to have a white Santa, And by the way, for all you kids watching at home, Santa just is white, but this person is just arguing that maybe we should also have a black Santa. But Santa is what he is, and just so you know, we're just debating this because someone wrote about it, kids.
Someone wrote about it, kids, so we got to talk about it, but just so you know, Santa Claus is white. Here's what's fascinating. Did you see everybody else on TV? Everybody else was sitting there, yeah. Listen, y'all wanna be on TV that bad that you would allow some foolishness like that to be said and not challenge it? The day after that, she actually was not on her show. This happened a few years ago. The day after that, she was not on her show. We do believe she was probably suspended. It was a firestorm on social media when she said this. She also told people that Jesus was white too in that same exact segment. And later, she interviewed about it, as you see. She was posed the question, hey, do you regret any of these ridiculous things you said? Here's her answer.
I regret a lot of what I've said. I mean, you're gonna be on the air several hours a week, live television. You're gonna say stupid. That's just the reality, So yeah, there's a lot I'd like to go back and say differently. All I can tell you is I think the lens is a truth teller. And people who watch you day after day will see who you are without the caricature of you that's put out there by websites and so on looming over you. One of my great struggles at Fox was I felt everything I did was viewed through a negative prism by those who didn't like Fox.
Typical Karenicity happening here. Blame others for the actions you commit to. Yeah, that's how you take full responsibility, Megyn. Okay, back to good news. Let's put up the picture full mass of this amazing program created by this amazing business leader. Stafford Braxton, 61 years of age, out of Huntersville, North Carolina. He's in the center. He stands alongside some of his Black Santas as part of his Santa Just Like Me business. This actually started in 2013, has picked up significant traction since. Although the concept of Black men portraying Santa Claus has been around for decades, the novelty of Black Santas can still be a rare sight. It was just in 2016 that America's largest mall, the Mall of America in Minnesota, hosted its first Black Santa in its 30-year history, portrayed by Mr. Larry Jefferson. However, the historic moment was not a welcome sight for everyone, as some white people flooded racist comments on message boards following Jefferson's debut as Santa, according to the BBC. Here's another Santa in action. All right, you see that kid? That's what it's about. Is the kid happy? Is the kid smiling? Yes. Santa Claus represents, to a lot of children, a person who is held in high esteem and universally recognized, and who is undoubtedly an authority figure. Children of all ethnicities need to see that men of color can live up to those standards, according to Mr. Keys. It's my opinion that much of our society tends not to be of the mind that men of color can fit that bill, and that needs to change. It's an honor for me to do what I can do to remedy that notion. There's a study called the Clark Doll Study. It was done decades ago. And this study would put a white doll and a black doll next to each other. And children were allowed to view each doll and start answering questions about what they believed each doll was. And so when the question was posed, which doll is bad? Black children, majority of them actually picked the black doll. All of the negatives virtually were codified in the black doll. And you could see parents really upset. They didn't understand this. So they did the study again not too long ago. What do you think the results were? They were the same. The black children still saw themselves as not smart, as ugly, as bad. Recently, why? The parents were crying behind the glass because they said, we teach our children to love themselves and to love the culture. How did this happen? This happened because you're not the only teachers of a child. Societal construct transforms the thinking of a child through the normative atmosphere of education, which is constant. Education does not have to be formal. Education is happening all the time through television, ads, social media, whatever it may be. And so if the society is still saying the same message as it did in the 60s, then the children will receive the same message today as they did before. So that's why it takes intentional efforts like this to make sure that there's positive reinforcement of your culture, especially in significant characters like Santa Claus, even though it is a fictional character. All right, David, thoughts here?
You're absolutely right, Dr. Richey. It is about the children, and to the extent that the children are happy, that's all that matters. And you know what? I think this is great that there's a business out there that realizes, there's an unmet need, and that is we need to have people who look like us, different communities as Santa Claus, whether it's Black, Asian, Latino. We had an incident the other day. Well, I'll tell you an incident involving one of my own kids, and it's a little bit different. But one of my kids used to like to play with Barbie dolls, right? And my son, he played with Barbie dolls, and he liked to put on his sister's like high-heeled shoes. And part of it was sort of like, okay, I suppose you could say to the kid, well, this isn't really for boys, but we were like, this is great. It makes him happy. If he likes to play with Barbie dolls, if he likes to wear girl shoes, whatever. There's no such thing as girl shoes and boy shoes and black things and white things. They're all just kids. And as long as the kids are happy and as long as they're having a positive experience, that's all that matters.
There it is. Very well said.